welcome to the 2A Street.
2A Street.
I've got Abe across the table from me
What's
over there.
good with everybody out there?
How are you doing, Abe? Tell me about your past couple of weeks.
It's been good, just trying to keep my head above the water. Busy, you know what I'm saying? Running around. Things is just going all right, though. You feel me?
Yeah, I hear you, but keeping your head above the water, that's not normally an analogy that you use in your life, man. Normally you're kind of floating on the waves, and then there's only up from there. So the fact that you even let your legs get wet is kind of surprising. is there anything in particular that crossed you that made you think that you're just 6 inches away from drowning?
Nah, it was just a pretty chilled week. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm used to go kind of a situation. To the point where now slowing down is kind of drowning me.
Right. No,
you know what I'm saying? Because I'm just so used to being on the run, on the walk, on the move. You know what I mean? So sometimes I guess when you're so used to a certain way of doing things, of running around, and then you slow down, you got to keep your head above the water because it's just like a new normal.
Yeah. You're kind of drowning in nothing.
Exactly,
you know what I mean?
nothingness.
There's always something there, and when it's not, it's got this vacuum.
Yes.
And suffocate when you're in a vacuum.
Exactly, right. Straight up, Dougie.
Wow, let's just create analogies all day long. No, that's good. So you're healthy, though. That's important.
I'm good. Yes.
Nice. It's good. So, you know what I really like about this show is that you can go week over week and have something new to talk about.
Yeah.
That this world is now so diverse and things happen so often.
Yes.
And with both of us being in the service industry,
yes,
there's always an opportunity. I mean, sometimes an episode might suck because all we're talking about is some of the mundane tasks that we do day over day.
Yes.
But occasionally, more often than I actually expected, you come across a situation that is actually one of those. We can make a conversation of this. This is a life lesson for somebody, and it's really incredible. I mean, we're going on not quite a year, but maybe 3/4 of a year now, where we've been getting together and just pulling things out of a hat every week.
Just going with it. You got to.
I'm just amazed at it. And sure enough, yesterday, I've been had some contractors working for me and all that lately, and I kind of got a little bird telling me that these guys don't like me very much. And I actually haven't had to deal with this in a long time with the perception that somebody doesn't like me, or even that it got to the point where they had even had a choice. I always thought that I was one of those guys that easily relatable, kind of is always on the right way, and never really causing too much of a ruckus. So it's been many years since I've even had to consider, oh my goodness, this person doesn't like me. So it took me back to when that actually mattered in my life, because we always go through that phase, kind of the teenage years all the way to even probably early 30s, where if you hear that somebody doesn't like you, you're kind of stewing over it and figuring it out and analyzing. And even as you get a little bit more mature, it still bothers you because you still believe that you're a good person in the world and all that. And good does not equal not like, which I also think are kind of unrelated things as well. But my question for you today is, how much energy do you put into somebody who has created a perceived situation that didn't actually happen in order to dislike you? How much do you go out of your way to kind of clear up the misinformation that they created? You know what I mean? So this situation that they're disliking me on didn't actually happen.
Right.
If you take the puzzle pieces, that's what it looks like happened, but didn't actually happen that way. And if you just sit back and think about it for a minute instead of being emotionally wrapped up, you'd kind of see the facts and the reality of it. Should I pursue this? Should I go and say, yo?
So it's a double whammy right there, because you could either go and talk to the person right there and say, hey man, I think what you're thinking about me, it ain't right.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna ask you how you heard about that.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? And once it goes to that situation, then you're gonna include a bunch of people into the situation right here.
Yeah.
Or you can just let your work speak for itself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because truth will always defend itself. In the sense of saying that if you're real and if you're living in your own truth, it will always defend itself without you even saying a word. Because a lot of kids are so used to just being on the offensive or defense. You know what I mean? Like, yo, I'm not that kind of person or whatever. Then it becomes a high school type of situation.
Yeah.
But then if you know who you really is and you're walking in your truth, kids will always come back and say, yo, I thought wrong about you.
Yeah.
It always happens because you're living in your truth. But then if you try to defend yourself, then it's like, why are you coming on to me like this? So the dope that I talked about this situation came and talked to you about it. Yeah, we got a bigger problem now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's a kind of a toss up as to how to deal with that because, it's a messed up situation.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing is we did have a conversation about reasons and seasons where some people are in your life for a reason and some are just for a season. Now that season might be a couple months, might even be a day. I actually have a story about that. Oh man, I didn't mean to tear off into this. Okay, let's go. Strap in. Let's go. So the best example that I have about a season where it was just for a certain thing to happen. Yeah. Actually, no, that's the reason. Just one event happened, and then this person was gone. So there was a time in my life where I wanted to be a movie star or an actor. Everybody has those kind of dreams, especially if you've been down and out in school, if you got bullied in school and stuff, you want to rise above all that and eventually show those people
that I made
right? So just as I started dating she's my wife now. I never know how to qualify that. My girlfriend, then wife now. I don't know. we'll figure out the right way to say that someday. Yeah. But anyways, the girl that I was dating at the time, which became my wife, so she's working at this restaurant, and she had just mentioned one day, she's like, oh yeah, my husband's, boyfriend, is looking at getting into movies or something, and this dude that she was working with is like, no way, tell him to show up on Saturday. We're shooting a commercial or something like that. He's like, I'll get him in the door. I'm like, cool. So I go down there, we do this restaurant, and then the guy sets me up with a talent agency, and then he disappears. Wow. This was just from one day I thought about it, next day it happened, the day after this dude is gone out of my life. Yes. And then from there I went 2 years or something to doing TV commercials and all that kind of stuff. And so it's like, that was a reason. Just this person is in your life for a reason, it happens and off you go. Then the seasonal ones are like this individual that I'm talking about here, where they're here, something happens, and then they're gone for whatever reason. Yeah. I just don't, sometimes the reason why they're out of your season is like this, where it's not not necessarily a good thing. So will I run into these people again? Maybe not. Should I care? And care is such a strong word in that regard, because I always care about the people around me. But you're absolutely right. My stuff speaks for itself. I don't need to defend that.
And the thing is, the thing that we have to realize too is that some kids is cowards out there. They're willing to just hate or just think certain things instead of just coming and approaching you and saying, "Yo, what the deal is. Let's talk about this. I heard about this and this and that. Come and talk to me. You got a problem? Come and talk to me. Don't be coward enough to go out there and spread things or even think it on your own self. That's being a coward." A real gentleman, a real dude comes out and talks to you and say, dude, this is what's going on. This is what my thoughts is. Let's squash this. You feel me? But a lot of times we're so guarded, we're afraid to come in and just confront the person and say, this is what I think about you, or this is what the problem is, so that you don't be going around in your mind like, does this person like me, or what's going on and stuff. You gotta come and talk to me about it. Tell me like, oh, Abe, this is what I'm seeing about you, man. What's going down? You feel me? If you work with me or if you're close with me, you need to come and talk to me.
Yeah,
what I mean? You shouldn't have me going in mind battles and thinking like, man, that's not cool. It's not a cool look.
Yeah, for sure.
100.
For sure, and that you kind of reminded me that that's been going on as well. Is that it's not the first time that I've heard them speaking ill, but every time that I see them, it's all good. Whatever you need, and then it comes back around. And man, it's so frustrating. It's just very interesting to see. And coward's an interesting word for that. Is so at what point in time did it become more important for us to harbor feelings instead of just addressing it with people? I mean, back in medieval ages, if you had a problem with somebody, you'd take your gun and you'd smack them across the face and you'd go and you would duke it out. And I mean, that carried on 50s, 60s, 70s, maybe even into the 80s. And then we hit that break where it wasn't okay to express your feelings.
Like the thing is this right here. It's easier for a kid to get a gun and shoot you instead of coming in and fight you. You feel me? It's easier for a dude to come out here and tweet something instead of just coming out here and say something. We spoke about this, that people are more interested. It's more, writing and whatever instead of just coming out and talking about this thing right here, because we're so emotionally detached in certain ways. So then now for me to come out here and say, yo, Aaron, what the deal is, you know what I'm saying? You're going to come out here and we're going to sit for 2 to 3 hours now, which I don't have. You feel me? So it's easier for me to just think a certain way and walk my way, because I don't have time to invest in you emotionally. That's how a lot of people are in this day and age, is that they don't want to invest anything. They got beef, let's settle it with shooting. You know what I'm saying? It's just a sad state of affairs that we're having right now. So I would say to me, like, I would rather, if I have a problem with somebody, let's duke it out. Let's talk about it. You know what I'm saying? And let's see what's going down, because at the end of the day, if I value you as a coworker or as a friend or as a family member, then I'm going to have to come down and talk it out with you.
There usually has to be a two-way willingness.
Definitely.
As well. And that's kind of the thing, is that if you continue to perpetuate not only the thoughts, but, whatever behind my back, it doesn't matter how far up to the table that I come, if you're going to continue to go underneath it, right? So, and that's the thing, is that, I genuinely want to solve misinformation kind of thing. I'm not really, really close with these people, but there was always potential to take things kind of further.
Right.
And, I mean, you almost nailed it right there, though, too, is, sometimes we have to make a decision on how much emotional time we're going to give people, because we will always fill our minds with other things. And if I choose to put emotions into that, then that means I'm usually sacrificing it somewhere else as well. And I think we got to balance that of well, if I spend that much energy here, then maybe one of our youth kids isn't going to get our attention later on today because we're just drained or something. So I still don't know. I don't know if I need to go figure this out. I mean, my work will speak for it. That's fine. I still have some of that old bit of me that cares when people like me or not. You know what I mean?
We all got that. We all got the situation. It's in human nature to want to be loved, to want to be cared for and stuff. And so when people take advantage, or if they just yap and do whatever, say whatever, it hurts. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, if you're not going to be emotionally invested in me, I'm not going to be emotionally invested in you. It's 100. You know what I mean?
I thought of another analogy. So we always want the people that we like to like us, but do we want the people that don't like us to like us? You know what I mean? So do we really want the devil to like us? Do we really want to be the devil's favorite? You know what I mean? It's I'm kind of solving this on my own, again, thanks to thanks to you. But that's the thing, though, is that it's the same thing, is that we're okay when good-looking people like us. We're not okay if people that are less than our optimal view. See what I did there? but that's the thing, though, is that we're not allowed to pick and choose in this world, and that's what we call walking in grace, is that we accept everybody equally, and that's the thing, is that it doesn't matter if it's the good looking or the average liking us or not. Our graceful outpouring is going to accept both of them.
I'll give you an example right now. Jack McSing, Brampton Cat.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? He's he's the new NDP leader.
Okay, I wasn't sure his name. I just knew that fellow. one of those.
A lot of people don't like him. You know what I mean? Because he wears a turban. You know what I mean? And does that stop him from doing what he got to do? No. He's still doing what he's doing. He's leading the party and stuff like that. This is where it's at. Where you're going to have cats who are going to talk, who are going to say, the poll says that a third of Canadians would not vote for him. You know what I'm saying? But there's 2/3 that like him.
Still 2/3.
Exactly. So then his work has got to have to speak for himself. You know what I'm saying? So if he comes out there and say, oh, y'all got to come and support me and stuff like that, cats is going to mock him and they're going to laugh at him. You know what I mean? So what we got to do is just those who are skeptical about him, they're just going to have to chill out and see what he do. You know
it's always so easy to sit there and judge somebody as well. It's always easy. Well, if I were in my position, or if I were in that position, This is what I would do instead. And then you actually end up in there, and it's totally different.
Totally different.
Being a politician is not the easiest job of ever. That's a choice that you make, and it's only once you actually get in, after your 15 years of trying, do you realize, oh man, what did I get myself into?
And being a technician like you, it ain't easy. You know what I'm saying? And so you're going to have people coming up from left, right, and center that are going to think the way they think. You know what I'm saying? You're in a position that a lot of people are envious about. You know what I mean? And so things is going to come out. You know, feel me? I heard what Joe said one thing. He said that if you're going to pray for a blessing, you better pray for the enemy. Against the enemy, because he's going to come against you.
That's right.
You feel me? So if you're in the place where you at, you know, there's always going to be people that are going to come against you. They're going to think evil thoughts. They're going to come out and say, I should have been in that spot. Or they ain't even saying it, but they want what you got.
Yeah, well,
you know what
I mean, even regular politics and worldwide events right now are showing this is my broad generalization that I'll probably have to fact check myself again on, but nonetheless, there seems to be a 30-30-30 split-ish about almost everything. You talk politics, you got red, blue, orange, right? You talk about worldwide events, you got the communists, you got the Democrats, and then some in between. You know what I mean? There always seems to be this rule of thirds for everything. So even based on that math alone, there's only going to be 30% of the people that I run into that are actually going to completely align with me. There's going to be 30% that are completely opposed, and then the other ones are going to be on the fence variable kind of thing. And if you're okay with that in life, then it's good, because then at least you have 60% of the people that you run into that you're going to be okay with, right?
Straight up.
But I don't know if we think about that. We always assume that everything's going to be 100%.
Right.
I mean, even in our walk in faith. This is the hardest one that I have to deal with from coming over, is it's always perceived that our life is going to be awesome and amazing after we do that first prayer. And you're kind of like, right on, I'm on the road to ice cream, you know? And then something bad happens. And you're all like, God, where are y'all at? And it's like, he's sitting there going, I didn't say, I didn't say anything about this. I said you're going to be tried. You know, you are going to be a sheep amongst the wolves, you know, and all that kind of stuff. And so I don't even know when we created that image to sit there and say, yeah, man, you lay down that first prayer and just everything's good. You got the bands, you know. It's not happening.
It ain't happening. And this is where, like, I think, you know what I mean, for your situation, it's a matter of just, you gotta listen to what's inside. You know what I'm saying? You gotta listen to what's inside. If you have to approach this situation, you approach it. If not, leave it alone. You know what I mean? Because you're a good fella through and through. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
And so if people are gonna come out and say whatever they say, that's them. You know what I mean? And you can't lower your standards because somebody's hating on you or somebody's talking about you. You just gotta keep on walking.
You know, you actually reminded me of something there as well. Is that this is one of the things that's good for the kids and the youth, the young adults and the adults that we deal with out there. Is so you've been telling me for the past year now, you know, about some of the values that I have, who I am as an individual, and all that kind of stuff. So let's say that you and I have spent 200 hours together on an intimate setting, for example. It took 1 hour, not even, of just hearing that one thing to take away everything that you've been telling me the past 2 years. You know what I mean? And that there is something that if the people that we mentor with could just understand that, you know, I know the negative hurts, but you really need to weigh it against all the other positives that 100. People, you know, and that's the whole thing.
That's where it's at.
Yeah, and this is why we had a difficult time, though, with some of those kids that don't have good homes. Is because if that's the thing, a 10-to-1 ratio of every 10 good things that I hear can be backed away just by one negative thing. What about these kids that are getting 10 negative things in one day? And then we show up on a Friday night for 2 hours and try and back away all that? Man, that's how much energy that we got to put in reciprocation onto that, man.
And we've become a society of soft people. You know what I'm saying? Where by that I mean that one thing that one person says overshadows all the good things
everything though too.
Everything that you know is good about you. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta move away from being soft and just be able to, like, okay, have a soft heart but thick skin. So now you're getting people talking about you. It don't get to you. because we're living in a world where people are just cruel.
Yeah.
For no apparent reason, man. Cats is out here, they're just mad, dog. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so if you're not careful and your heart is cold or it's hard, then you won't feel the pain of other people. So you gotta have your heart soft, but your skin, strong and stuff. But so that you have space for people that are hurting and stuff like that. But because the world is hurting, I don't look at the person now. I'm looking and say, all right, you're going through something, dog. Yeah. You know what I mean? I feel sorry for you. Because you don't know what you're going to miss when you lose me. Yeah. I know who I am. I know what I'm worth. You know what I mean? I know that I got a ton of stuff that I can bring to the table. Yeah. So if you're going to hate on me, man, because I got more people that are going to like me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's my attitude. Yeah. You feel me? That I can bring a lot to the table. You know what I mean? Just because of the things that I know, things that I'm learning as I'm going along the way. So if you lose me, you lose a lot. You know what I mean? And if that season is gone, it's gone. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Some cats are in my life for a chapter.
I like chapters too.
Yeah, exactly. So then when I go to chapter 7, you ain't in there. Yeah. You feel me? So I got to keep on moving. You know what I'm saying? And just keep on writing the book of my life. Yeah. And if you ain't supposed to be in it, you ain't supposed to be in it. If you're just a one-liner, you're a one-liner. That's good. I'm still moving. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because I got a lot of things to worry about.
Well, see, this is good. I like the depth of this too, is because I never found that confidence in my life until I figured out that everything in my life is unreliable except for God. Yay. Right? Because if the best thing in my life is my literal dog, my puppy, and it only makes it 10 years, then what happens after? Not reliable, right? My mom and dad, love them to bits, only a certain amount of time. Unreliable then, right? And I don't mean unreliable like they're not there for me. But for me to invest my emotions in there, everything on this planet is always eventually going to let me down. My car could be the best thing ever, it's gonna let me down, right? So only once I found something to hold on that was immaterial to this planet was I able to walk in that confidence of saying, you'll never let me down because I will always know that I can rely on that. You know, and that was a huge mental shift because now you're not carrying around the baggage of desperately needing people in your life because if tomorrow you had to move back home, this show is over, right? Yeah. And if not over, it's going to be a lot more difficult for us to make it happen, right? You know what I mean? Yeah. And I can't sit there and go, oh my goodness, my life is over now, and this and that. You know, we have to rely that this was a season that we spent together, but we still have the solid foundation of a mutual God. You know what I mean? And that was, it's the hardest thing to articulate on how that works. But if there's anything that we can convince people that are out there hurting and sore, is that that's the safety net that God provides, right? Because everybody's looking for that, and most of the hurt people out there are relying on something on this planet in order to get them through. And
that's pretty powerful because truly without God we are nothing. You know what I'm saying? Everything else is finite. It's gonna come to an end. No relationship. I don't trust a relationship 100% like you said because people are gonna move and stuff like that, and so. The only thing that anybody can look up to, and this is why our worth has got to be in God. And when your worth is in Christ, you don't care, man. You don't in the sense. I don't care what anybody think about.
Yeah, because you only care about
100. I'll listen to you. I'll pay attention to what you're saying. If there's some truth in it, I'll consider it. Yeah. But really, the Bible is the one book that has my worth in it. Yeah. So if God tells me that I'm awesome, that I'm wonderfully and fearfully made, dog, I don't care what anybody else.
That's right. And you know how you are. The confirmation gives you breath every morning.
Straight up.
As soon as you pop open them eyes, you're worth it.
Straight up.
Straight up. Oh man, I learned that from one of my friends. He's the guy that we've been talking about being in jail. He'll be out in December. And that was the one thing that just always is in the back of my mind is just, how are you, bro? And he'll say, God woke me up this morning. And it's just like, that is faithful. Yes. It doesn't matter where he woke you up. Yeah. Take a look around. Do you know where you are? And he's just, God gave me breath. And it's like, oh man, that is powerful. You know, he's so faithful even in that environment. That's crazy. Yes. So that's the thing is that I only recognize that freedom, the freedom from the bondage of all things on this planet was realized when you find something that you can trust. That's that hope, that's that faith that we always fight towards, that there's a better day right there. And it's so easy to grab. All you got to do is believe that it exists.
Yes.
A better place exists, and you just aim for it.
Keep on.
And we always find all these other politics, though, within our faith.
Yes.
Got to do this, you got to do this, got to do this. You kind of don't. There's just two things that are asked of you, and I'll let you all you listeners, read and find out what those two things are. But nonetheless, but the freedom that comes with that.
Yeah.
While you're on this planet is just incredible.
It is.
To be free of all the judgment of the humans on this planet. It doesn't matter what they think anymore.
Straight up.
Because as long as you're appeasing what you need to, you're going to a better place.
That's right.
And that's it's hard to articulate, but once you feel it, and when you
got it, man.
This life just turns so much better.
Yes.
Even when you're going through hard times, right? I'd probably still be crying. From yesterday, if I were old me, where I cared so much, and it's not that I don't care. I'm still want to hash out this situation and figure things out and all that, but I don't have the same amount of heartache and all that going. Oh man, what did I do to? I'm not doing that much of checking because I know what my facts are on this whole situation, and if they haven't taken the time to check them facts. That's
not much
kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, so, very, very unfortunate.
And so how did we get to the point of not fact checking though anymore either? How did we get so that when somebody says, I'm particularly bad for it on this show. Oh yeah, don't worry, there's 152 people, like that, and then on the blog later. Yeah, so there was 5. So how come, I'm glad that we take the time to fact check after our show, but how come people don't take that extra minute and just kind of absorb the information and then spew it out? When did that happen? Social media changed that for sure. Yeah. That they just believe everything's coming in. And maybe they did that back in the days when everything on the radio, right? I think it was in the 60s when they did War of the Worlds. They were doing this program. It was a series, just a kind of an audiobook of styles back then. And it was War of the Worlds. So it was about this alien invasion. And they were just reading it out loud on the radio. Well, people that tuned in late thought that there was an actual alien invasion happening. And so they were all freaking out and mass hysteria kind of broke out because there was no way for them to validate. If they're sitting there and you're, in our town of Airdrie and they're saying there's aliens invading New York City, back then you can't fact check that.
That's right.
Right? And then, but now with social media, everything that comes through is legit. And so is there a method that you use, I guess, to fact check things?
Well, I gotta go through a lot of the resources that I can to make sure that something is legit. You know what I'm saying? Because if you go through one avenue of news or of just research, you will end up in the wrong. So, for example, a lot of the news outlets, they want to be the first to break out the news item. So it doesn't matter if it's real, it doesn't matter if it's true. They just want to bring it out so they can get those clicks, because those clicks amount to money. They amount to them being popular. So and then they will correct it later. And then usually in the newspapers, it's just a little something right there, a correction. You know what I'm saying? When the story broke out, it was a big old situation. So then you got to go through. A lot of people don't have that time to invest. It's all about investing in time. A lot of people don't want to do that. It's easier to just believe something without going and researching about it.
So but with that, why is it so important to us to regurgitate misinformation then? So if I haven't fact checked it, then why do I now need to pick up the phone and call the auntie and say, hey, did you hear what happened in Vegas? You know what I mean? If you're going to regurgitate it so quickly, why don't you validate that it's true?
Winston Churchill said it best. He said, bad news travels around the world before good news even puts on their shoes. You know what I'm saying? And that's the way that society has always been, is that we love drama. You know what I'm saying? If there's drama, we all is. Because it's just something that they just want to be entertained. Something that says, I want to be the first to know this and break it over to somebody else and stuff like this. But when we sit back and be like, oh, really? All right. And then you listen to somebody else and, you just take these different things, read about it, research about it. Then you are more informed than the people that are running around flapping out their lips and stuff. You know what I mean? So we have to invest invest time because our name is all we got. So if we come out and bring something that is false, people we're not going to be reliable sources anymore. A lot of these other outlets, they get away with it because they got a lot of money to do damage control. Whereas we just got to be careful how we spread the information out in the streets.
And there was I'll see if I can find it as well. There's this kind of really interesting quote, and again I'll have to paraphrase it because I pull stuff out of my but they talk about that there's a difference between knowledge and wisdom. Where you can know a lot of things, but you don't have wisdom until you know how to apply it. That kind of thing. And I think that we've done that is we've done this information consumption where, we got to be the guy that somebody says, oh yeah, this over here. And you're like, oh yeah, that has a population of 652 people and it's a 37% this and all that. And I don't care. I was just saying, I was just over in San Francisco, man. You know what I mean? It's this whole, and I think it's just kind of a new way of, I don't want to use that term, but measuring ourselves against others is that knowledge, not necessarily intelligence, not necessarily wisdom, becomes one of these cards now that you throw down on the table. And just, I know something about everything. But man, if you're sitting there and every time somebody says something and you throw that out there, they're not going to like you.
No, exactly. That's the thing.
Wisdom will help you understand when the right time is.
Man, that's it right there, dog. That's it right there. Because you could know it all. But you just choose not to say anything. Those are some of the greatest people is people who know something about something, but they're willing to just sit there and not even interrupt you, but they just listen to you until you're done. Because you're going to learn something from that person. Even if it's just one word, you're going to take something out of it.
I think I did it once before as well when if we had changed even just a little bit of who you and I are for each other, and you start talking over there and we're like, but every time that you're sitting there trying to talk and I'm waiting for my turn kind of thing, like it would be over, you know, and we've seen it. I mean, some of our kids that we mentor are like that as well, where they're telling a story or something, and then you kind of go, actually, I went through that in high school, and then, high school, I was, whoa, I'm just trying to relate with you, boy. And that's the thing is that it's more of just measuring, because where that used to happen out on the playground when you just go and you have fisticuffs and it'd be over and everything's good the next day. Kids are getting expelled over that. Deservedly so, that's fine. But, knowledge now is just a safe way of insulting somebody, right? It is a very passive-aggressive way. And somebody who always either grammar checks you, or something like that. It's just very passive-aggressive. And, you say, no, everybody be here at 6:55. And somebody, you mean 7? What? You know what I mean? But that's very passive-aggressive. It seems to be the measurement stick these days, is how do you use your words. And unfortunately, we've taken the English language and we've turned it all into slang, and not necessarily street slang, but just shortcuts to everything as well. Right. So people can't articulate or at least don't know how to, and then other people jump on top of that. So that's just the new age of fighting with somebody. Yes. And I checked that... My oldest does it to me now, which means that I've done it to him. You know what I mean? I'm okay with looking at the reflection there, and I go, I check you guys far too often, and the only reason why I do it is because I want them to be able to articulate English correctly and to take pride in what they know. But when they start throwing it back at me, then maybe I've gone a little bit too far with correcting who they are and all that kind of stuff. There's a difference between life lessons and overbearing those kind of things. So, yes. So I like it when they fact check me back, because it's a good thing. You always want to double check.
No doubt, man.
But when you're that little and you're my son, you got to leave me alone. I'm the fact checker. You just sit right there, boys. So, I'll let you know how this one goes, man.
Yeah, let me know how it feels, though. You know what I'm saying?
It's very fresh from this week, so I haven't had a chance to really sit down and pray with it. But it is one of those things where I definitely felt going back to when I actually really, really cared about my image to people. And as much as image is important, not in that way. Yeah. If you know what I mean, is like you're saying, is that your actions and who you are as a person always stand out above all.
Definitely.
And the truth comes out, whether they accept it or not is not your problem.
Exactly.
And that's also another thing that's hard to expect, because we're so used to just slapping things out there, proving you right, proving you wrong, and all that. That, man, live in grace.
That's it, man. 100.
You know, let the truth take its course.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Do you have any final words on this one?
Nah, man, I'm just interested to check to see what's going on with this situation right here, how it comes out, how it pans out. You know.
Well, and I like these because these ones are kind of the real world situation
Definitely.
that we can run into every day. Is this cat's cool with you today, and then tomorrow something changes.
Exactly.
And it's only because they heard a rumor through 5 different people that they think that you're the guy that ate his yogurt out of the fridge. I'm like, you can't come talk to me about that?
Exactly. Come and talk to me. Holler at me, man.
Seriously, it's so easy. I will buy you a 6-pack of yogurt if you think that I did it, even just to make things right.
Yes.
But you know what? That same dude that stole your one is going to steal 5 out of the 6 anyway.
Yes.
So you come at me. Check your facts, man.
Exactly
Check
right.
your facts.
Exactly, dog. For real.
Thanks for joining us on the 2A Street.
2A Street, yeah.
We got a couple of different shout-outs. We got Leader Treks, a great resource for the youth out there. We got the Joy Spot, who's an amazing resource in our region here for just bringing joy to this world.
Beautiful.
Fetching Finn, our creative branding individual.
Yeah.
And one thing that I was telling you this week as well is that we've got a couple listeners down in San Francisco. We've got some in the UK as well.
Beautiful.
So let's do a shout out to those guys. It's really great that you're listening to us. We'd love to hear from you. You can hit us up on our blogger page, on Facebook, Instagram, anywhere like that. We are the 2A Street. That's Abe over there.
What it do?
You can find his own motivational and inspiration stuff at Conversations with Abe. You just give him a quick search as well. And it's always been great sitting with you guys, so we'll catch you next week.